This is Autoline Daily, the show dedicated to enthusiasts of the global automotive industry. Based on most of the media coverage, you might be under the impression that President Trump eased the import tariffs for automakers and suppliers. But that's kind of misleading. It only applies to vehicles that are assembled in the U.S., and it's only for 2 years. As we reported yesterday, automakers can apply for a tariff rebate up to 3.75% of the MSRP of a vehicle, which is meant to help offset the tariffs that they paid on imported components. That applies until April 30th of 2026, and then the rebate drops to 2.5% until April 30th of 2027. After that, it goes away completely. Also, in the first year, the rebate only applies to imported components that account for 15% of the MSRP, and in the second year, it only applies to components that account for 10%. So, if imported components account for more than that, then too bad. They don't count for any tariff relief. So here's our Autoline insight. Any automaker or supplier that was hoping Trump would offer more relief on imports now has to face the grim reality that these tariffs are likely here to stay. There's little chance for relief unless individual countries or trading blocs like the EU are able to negotiate lower tariffs by offering to lower their own. That means all imported vehicles are now stuck with a 25% tariff, and that is going to land like a hammer on all automakers, suppliers, and dealers. And the ones that will be hurt the most are the automakers that don't have any U.S. assembly. And that includes, get this, are you ready? Audi, Aston Martin, McLaren, Jaguar, Land Rover, Porsche, Fiat, Alfa Romeo, Maserati, Mini, and Mitsubishi. So, it's possible this could be the end for most of those brands in the U.S. market. Some very profitable high-end brands like Ferrari, Lamborghini, Rolls-Royce, and Bentley will probably be able to absorb some of the cost, and besides, their customers can probably tolerate higher prices. But for the rest of them, it's gonna be a disaster. We think consumers will rush to the showrooms to buy pre-tariff cars in May, and that after that, sales will nosedive. Speaking of car sales falling off a cliff, the Russian market is in a free fall. Sales plummeted in the first quarter due to a poor economy, high interest rates, and the effects of sanctions. According to the Association of European Businesses, automakers sold 254,000 passenger vehicles in the first quarter, down 26% from a year ago, and sales aren't expected to recover this year, with analysts forecasting sales to be below 1 million vehicles compared to 1.6 million last year. Inventory, mainly from Chinese brands, is piling up, and some dealers have had to resort to offering discounts as high as $12,000 to help boost sales. And on top of that, some buyers are holding off on getting a new car because many analysts believe that some foreign brands like Hyundai and Renault will return to the market.
Performance that shines, even in the rain. That's what really matters. Bridgestone Potenza tires, improved grip in wet conditions.
Hey there, enjoy what you're watching? Then consider becoming an Autoline member. Just click the Join button on the Autoline Network YouTube homepage, or we've also set up a Patreon account under Autoline. Now, absolutely nothing will change with the content that we already provide you, but we're giving exclusive access to even more, like early viewing of Autoline exclusives, behind-the-scenes videos, and even live Q&As with John and I. There's no over-the-air update for this recall. GM is recalling 721,000 full-size trucks and SUVs that are equipped with the automaker's newest generation of small block V8, which may contain faulty components that can cause the engine to seize up. The 6.2-liter units, made at a GM plant in New York between 2021 and 2024, have crankshaft dimensions and surface finishes that are out of spec, which can cause damage from sediment building up on the connecting rods and in the oil galleries. Customers are going to be asked to bring their vehicle into the dealer for inspection. If the dealer determines nothing is wrong, They'll do a complete oil change and switch over to a higher viscosity oil. If the engine fails the inspection, it will be replaced with a completely new engine. GM believes it will only have to replace a small percentage of the engines in the recalled vehicles, but it will still be costly for the automaker. Even if it doesn't replace any, a full oil change on 721,000 vehicles will cost tens of millions of dollars. Another day, another humanoid robot. This time it's from Chinese EV maker Xpeng, which showcased its robot called Iron at the Shanghai Auto Show. The robot was actually unveiled last November, but Xpeng says it's already being used in its production lines, assisting with assembling vehicles. It stands at 5 feet 8 inches tall, or 1.73 meters, and weighs 154 pounds or 70 kilograms. Xpeng even adopted the voice assistant from its smart cockpit for the robot's voice system, and the company's autonomous driving tech has also been integrated in. In addition to using Iron on the production line, Xpeng says humanoid robots could be used as a personal assistant or to handle tasks in retail spaces, offices, or in the home. At the end of last month, China announced new national standards for battery safety that kicks in July of next year. But we already have our first company to meet those requirements. CATL says that its Qilin battery is the first to be certified that it won't catch on fire or explode during a thermal runaway event, and that any smoke generated by the battery won't harm passengers in the vehicle. In order to get the certification, the battery was put through a bottom impact test and 300 fast charging cycles while short-circuiting. Automakers sold nearly 107,600 new pure electric vehicles in the U.S. in March. And while that was an increase of 8% compared to a year ago, EV market share actually declined to 6.8% of the overall market. The average transaction price for new EVs increased 4.4% to about $59,200 in March, and the price gap between new EVs and ICEs grew to $12,229, the highest it's been in years. The top-selling EV models in March were the Tesla Model Y and Model 3, the Ford Mustang Mach-E, Chevy Equinox, and Hyundai Ioniq 5. Meanwhile, sales of used EVs soared 39% to just under 35,000 units, and for the first time ever, used EV market share reached 2% of the used market. The average price for a used EV in March was just under $37,000, a little over 2% higher than last year. Here's a pretty significant development in the world of personal mobility. Toyota and Waymo reached a deal to collaborate on speeding up the development and deployment of autonomous vehicles. The two companies plan to develop a new autonomous platform, which will be built by Toyota and deployed in Waymo's fleet. And they'll also explore integrating Waymo's technology into personal vehicles. Earlier this month, Waymo started mapping roads in Tokyo, and once that's complete, autonomous tests with a driver on board can kick off. Kenworth is coming out with a couple of new electric heavy-duty trucks. They're both based on a platform developed by parent company PACCAR that features a central drive unit, which allows for more wheelbase flexibility and a bigger battery. That drive unit can produce between 365 and 470 horsepower of continuous power and up to 1,850 pound-feet of torque. The T880E Class 8 truck has 4 battery packs available. The smallest provides about 100 miles of range, while the biggest 625 kilowatt-hour pack is estimated to deliver over 250 miles of range. The T680E, which is meant more for short and medium-haul operations, has 3 battery sizes, with the largest being a 500 kilowatt-hour pack that provides over 200 miles of range. Kenworth says it's taking orders now from customers in Canada and the U.S., and deliveries are scheduled to begin later this year. But we don't expect EVs to make up any meaningful volume in the truck maker's total sales. Volvo Trucks put out a press release yesterday that it just cracked 5,000 global sales of battery electric trucks, even though it started selling them 6 years ago. And that brings us to the end of today's show. Thanks for making Autoline a part of your day.
Autoline Daily is brought to you by Bridgestone, solutions for your journey. Intrepid Control Systems, over-the-air engineering boost your game. Tajin Automotive Technologies, the formula for better mobility. And by
There's nothing wrong with heavy metal.
Hey, lighten up.
But with world-class composite material, Tajin Automotive Technologies makes vehicles lighter, safer, and more eco-friendly.